Yeah, I decided it's time for me to step up for that generation because I hear it from everyone, my friends, my family, everyone in my generation that struggles in the same way. Willowdale is it's a neighborhood that is heavily rental market oriented. What I think about Jagmeet, and I've always thought it, he's such a wonderful and compassionate leader, and that is exactly what we need in Ottawa, for someone to actually care about people. It's very important that, we use our voices to engage in electoral politics.
Assalamu alaikum, I am Ahmed Ramadan for Muslim Network TV, and this is GTA Muslims Today. I'm standing here with Christy Kheirallah. She's an NDP candidate for Willowdale. Christy, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
So my first question to you is, as a younger candidate, what's motivated you to get involved in politics right now, and why the NDP?
Of course. So I'm a young person, I'm a young professional, and I'm very lucky to have a full-time job and full-time job security. And to me, it is absolutely just unbelievable how at my age, with everything that I have, it is still getting more and more impossible to afford both rent and groceries at the same time. To me, this is not the Canada that I, was told I was going to come to. Canada is a land of opportunity, and it is something that I truly believe in. And so when I learned about the political landscape here and found out, it's actually the NDP that brought free healthcare to Canada. It's the NDP that pushed for workers' rights and pension and anti-scab legislature. All of these things that makes Canada what Canada is. I decided, it's time for me to represent that young voice, and it's time for me to take a stand and step up for that generation to make, sorry, I'm starting to get a little distracted now, but because of the wonderful support that we're getting here for the NDP, as you can see. But I decided it's time for me to step up for that generation because I hear it from everyone, my friends, my family, everyone in my generation that struggles in the same way.
So speaking to a lot of people in your kind of generation, like you're saying, do you notice more engagement this election cycle, and why do you think that is?
Unfortunately, I'm not, seeing a lot more engagement. I think the reason why is because a lot of people are now feeling more deterred from participating in electoral politics because they don't think it's enough. I think that's a misconception because progress doesn't happen from one day to the other. Progress is a continued effort from people like myself and people on the ground that are activists and people who do the grassroots work and organizing. And so I think it's important for people to remember that in order to drive that progress, electoral politics, it's one piece of the puzzle, but it's a very important one as well. This is what I'm seeing. And I'm trying to push that message to encourage people like myself to sort of try to see a little bit more what the political landscape looks and what it can look like with their engagements.
So you've been obviously knocking on a lot of doors and talking to many different people. What are some of the main issues that you're hearing from the community?
Absolutely. So one of the main issues has been affordability at the forefront of everybody's mind. Willowdale is it's a neighborhood that is heavily rental market oriented. And we see it along the Young Corridor and all the condo buildings. And for people, it's really the affordability that is important to them. It's making sure that their kids can be taken care of, childcare, for them to afford groceries at the same time, to feed their kids, to feed their families and themselves, and also afford rent in Willowdale. We're seeing this topic across Canada. So door to door, it's really it's been such a wonderful and an eye-opening experience. Connecting with people of all different thoughts and school of thoughts about a shared value, which is affordability. And it's also been very amazing to sort of bring to them explain to them what I bring to the table as an NDP candidate who is fighting for affordability truly, as opposed to the other parties that are in it for the top 1% or the corporate landlords or people who have already made it. And it's been very, very enlightening to sort of see how they respond to a candidate who truly is fighting for the people like myself, the regular working people, because they've had enough of feeling neglected by their governments.
So we're here at the Jagmeet Singh rally in Toronto. What is your feeling of him as the leader of the NDP and the event itself, actually?
The event itself is amazing. I think it's always a great it's always a great opportunity to rally like this, and because right now, especially E-4, E-5, we're seeing the end, the final stretch of the campaign. It's important to remind ourselves why we're doing this, and it's important to keep the energies up so that we can bring it to the finish line and bring those important progressive voices to Ottawa. But what I think about Jagmeet, and I've always thought it, he's such a wonderful and compassionate leader, and that is exactly what we need in Ottawa, for someone to actually care about people, to actually care about the regular working people, and not to neglect the people that he represents in Canada as a whole.
So, final message for our viewers. What do you want to leave them with?
I want to leave them with the sense that right now it's feeling a bit hopeless for people in Canada, across Canada, even in Willowdale. I've seen it knocking on doors. Everybody's always surprised to see someone with progressive views knocking on their door. And they're always also surprised to hear that there are more progressive voices than we think. And it's very important that we use our voices to engage in electoral politics, because at the end of the day, it's mobilizing our voices and unifying together that's actually going to be pushing progress forward. And we don't want to lose sight of that, especially during a very important election like this one.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. And this is Ahmed Ramadan for Muslim Network TV and GTA Muslims Today. Thank you for joining us. Please leave your comments below, letting us know what other issues around the GTA you want us to cover. And stay tuned for more. Assalamu alaikum.